Hey Tom, it's Pam. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Pam. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Hey, I was wondering if I could trouble you to spend some time going through the slides that you sent me. Your real estate trends talk with Tom Mayer, Phoenix Real Estate Experts. Do you have a few minutes?
Yeah, I sure do. I'm really glad you called today.
Oh, cool. Well, let me I'll bring up the screen with what you sent me. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do that. Because this is one of those things where I like to look at the data, I like to think about it. But bottom line is, Tom, you're the man. You're the one who's going to know, what's going on. So this is the first piece of data that you gave me for last year, end of last year, so it'd be kind of current. And for the zip code that I'm looking for, which is 85250 here
hmm
in Scottsdale.
Very popular area.
It is, yeah, I noticed that. But what I don't quite get is I noticed there's like days on the market on the left and list price average on the bottom, and then some stuff written on those bars. Can you kind of walk me through what is this really telling me about what's going on in 85250 for the last 3 months or so before January?
Well, sure, Pam, and these are good questions. I was just working on this and I sent this over to you because I thought you'd like to know what's happening in your neighborhood.
Hmm.
And what we're seeing here, we're looking at the fourth quarter of 2018. And if you go over to the left side of the chart, you'll see that bar titled Sold Sales Prices Average. So the average sale price for the fourth quarter of 2018 in this particular zip code was $380,000 or $379,000. And carrying over from the fourth quarter, the next bar is what's currently under contract. That's homes. That's about 65 or so homes currently at about, or they were originally listed at $390,000.
And we don't know how much those actually have sold for yet, right? So,
Actually, you really don't know once they're under contract. We can only see what the list price was at $390,000. If we
right.
go back to the left and look at the sold sales price average of $379,000, we see that the average list price was $389,000. Now, there's a $10,000 difference between the list price and the sales price. That's a big
Wow.
figure. So that's $10,000 difference from the list price to the actual sale price.
Got it. Okay, so that says a lot to homeowners and to home buyers. So what's the active and expired stuff about? Because I noticed those bars are taller.
Yeah, they are. What that shows us is that notice at the bottom the list price average, $410,000 for homes that are currently active. And notice that they're active for more than 75 days. So that's real significant in that if you price your home higher, if your home is priced higher, it may stay on market for much longer. And in this case, we're seeing that active listing days on market well above 75 days, while we're seeing the sold and under contract at well under 75 days. So
So let me interrupt you for a second. So as a home
sure.
buyer right now, and
hmm
I'll ask you about homeowners in a second. So as a
Sure.
home buyer, um, basically, would it be possible for me so you get active ones at, around an average of 410? Would it be worth as a home buyer for me to go in with an offer of, 385 or 390 because their house has been on the market for longer than all the other homes? So would that be a good strategy for a home buyer?
Well, that's something you'll want to discuss with your realtor, with your agent,
Okay,
um,
got it.
because your agent is going to be doing the homework on the comps, the comparable properties in that area. So
Got it.
things like a garage, a pool, a new roof, new air conditioning, and new appliances or remodeling really affects the price of the home. Now,
Okay.
directly to your question, you're free to make any offer that you like, but you want to make a reasonable offer and you want to make reasonable demands. Now, you might have a seller, a homeowner, who might be more motivated after 75 days than they were when they were at, say, 60 days. So
Sure.
the short answer is yes, you certainly can make an offer. I would obviously recommend a fair offer, but
Sure.
because you might have motivated sellers at that point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense because I've heard that term motivated is motivated. Actually, you see it in the all these ads, motivated seller, and it's like, well, what's motivated? Oh,
Well,
days on market. Got
well, something else I just want to point out that if somebody who's selling their home may have already bought another home and now they're paying for two mortgages.
it.
So
Ooh.
time is literally money. The more time you hold on to a property, the more you're paying for it, and you might be paying for two properties at the same time. So
Okay.
that's something to consider. Days on market is something to consider.
All right. So I'm going to ask you that homeowner question in just a minute again. So with the expireds, is that kind of, should that actually be labeled we gave up? I mean, because the days on market, it's, what is it's over, well over 10, 100 days. So what does that mean? Does it mean that they've, what does they take off the market or can they bring it back on or how does all that work?
It means that it can mean a couple of different things. One is that the homeowner has decided to take their home off the market for either a short period of time or a longer period of time. Perhaps they found something within the home that they want to improve or upgrade, and then they'll bring the home back to market again to justify the higher price that they might be asking for. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That
and
makes
then
sense.
you might also have a home that is let's say improperly or not marketed strongly enough to attract
Right.
the types of buyers that they're looking for. So there's
Well,
a
there's
couple
that.
reasons. Yeah, there's always that too.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a lot of times all I see is as an agent putting it up on the MLS, and that's so not going to get to me because I don't typically go to those sites. I typically am on Facebook a lot, so if I see a house on Facebook, I'll be like, "Oh, that looks interesting," and that might take me to that agent's site, like brought me to you. But overall, yeah, you got to get out there, right? So that
Yeah.
takes to my homeowner questions. So in looking at this, if I'm a homeowner, what would you say overall would be what I should consider? Are there conclusions here about the list price, average, what I've got to be comfortable with? I mean, granted, these are all averages, right? So we don't really know, bedrooms, baths, and that kind of thing necessarily.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, in general, because I don't want to hold you to some sort of a weird, make stuff up kind of thing. But in general, based on this data, what would be your advice to homeowners who are thinking about selling in the spring or now, which is when it's
Or well, with spring training coming and lots of activities, especially in the zip code that we're
TPC, Waste
talking about,
Management Open,
there's
greatest show
spring
on
cleaning is
earth.
starting. There's a lot going on, and this area will continue to be popular. Let's look at this a couple of different ways. From the business perspective, you and your real estate agent, that is, I'm speaking to the homeowner now, will want to price the property according to the market. You don't want to be too far above the market. You don't want to be well below the market price. So there's some homework that has to be done to understand the area that you're working in. Now,
So if I
from
were working with you, what would you say? Would you, let's say I've got, well, and again, this is 85250. You do have some data for me on the next slide about, pricing and that type of thing. But if I were selling my 1,500 square foot home in 85250, would it be unwise for me to say list it 415? Noticing that the expired days on market for $415,000 homes is pretty high.
I would certainly have that discussion, but we're also going to consider what are the features of the property, the home itself. Do you have a garage? Have you remodeled your kitchen and your bathrooms? Have you painted the house? Have you done something to the roof? I mean, there's all these physical things that we can talk about that impact the value of the house. Now, some of the things from the homeowner's perspective, we always do a walk around. I want the homeowner to walk through their home and look at it from a buyer's perspective. What are the first things that the buyer is going to notice when they walk through the home? Is it clean? I always advise people clean all your doorknobs and your light switches. That's the first thing people are going to notice because these are the everyday things that people will encounter
Yeah.
when they live in the home.
Well,
And
something that I saw in walking through that people don't pay attention to because they're so used to seeing it is the even the door handles, like your regular door handle is all like if it's been brass and it's all worn off, go replace that, right? And
It's really easy. You go to Restoration Hardware somewhere or Home Depot,
right,
and you
you
get
go
a
to
lot.
Home
You
Depot
just
or
change it.
Freeman Fry's Marketplace sells hardware,
Yeah, that's true.
but you go and get something. And then, what about the door pulls and those kinds of things in the kitchen where they wear? It's
Yeah,
people, they're talking about, $4 or $3 or $5, whatever it is, and you're trying to sell your home for 400,000. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. It's sometimes it's all in the details. It's going to be, I mean, you're going to look at the big things, of course, the roof, the air conditioning, and
Sure.
any remodeling that's been done, but it's the little human things, the knobs, the door pulls, the cabinet handles, things like that. Now, remember too, when you're showing your home, when you're opening your home to the public and you're saying, come on in, take a look at my home, and I want you to buy my home. What are the things that people are going to do? Well, they're going to open the oven. They're going to look inside your oven in the kitchen. They're going to open the refrigerator door. They're going to open the pantry and look inside there. They're going to look at the home as if they're going to live in it. So you want to prepare your home like you're welcoming a family member or an honored guest over to spend a few days. And that means really cleaning the house, attention to details. Clean, clean, clean is what I recommend. And
Yeah.
also stand outside in front of your house and take a look at it from the street. How does it look when people drive up and look at it? Is the yard in good condition? Are the bushes trimmed? The grass mowed? It's
Leaves
real important.
blown.
First, yeah, exactly,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
It's real important to look appealing when the buyers drive up, either for an open house or for a home tour. It has to look good. It has to be its best. One recommendation that I like to make is put out your best towels. Put the best towels out in the kitchen and in the bathroom. Make sure put on your best linen in the beds if you have furniture in your house. Just make sure everything is nice and clean. It's almost like getting ready for the holidays all over again.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great analogy. Okay, so now I want to kind of move us to where we're at now, which is January.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You sent this kind of a zip code thing, so I would have some things to look at: 85250, 85251, and 85257. And this is
Hmm.
available homes detached, which is exactly what I'm looking for. But then you've got these list prices, and I noticed this slant down and number of active listings. Can you talk a bit about what this means?
Yes, I sure can. Let's again look at the bar, the part of the chart on the far left side there. We see homes. Now, this is just January in these three zip codes, which is Old Town Scottsdale, 250, 251, 257. I would add that 85257 is the most active right now. It's the southernmost in zip code in Scottsdale. Now we look at homes that are available in that sweet spot, that $350,000 to $400,000 list price range, and we see just over 40 homes available right now. It sounds like a lot, but it's really
That's
not.
not very many. I mean,
No,
there's
no,
probably
it's really
hundreds
not
of people
because
at least looking.
well, and remember, we looked at the other chart, and homes in this price range do tend to sell quickly. They sell in 60, under 75 days that we were talking about earlier. We go to the next bar, we see the $400,000 to $450,000 range. There are fewer of these. These will tend to be more in the 250, 251 area.
Okay.
And then we move further to the right and we see $450,000 to $500,000. These are the homes that are going to have big garages, big backyards, pools, completely remodeled and redone. And these will tend to be farther to the north, I think in 250.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
so basically, what's your advice to home buyers? So those are above 40 homes between 350 and 400.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate to bite the bullet, but it's like, well, do I make an offer? Do I not make an offer? What's your advice for home buyers who are kind of on the fence? I don't know if I love it. I like it. What would you suggest?
Well, given the velocity at the rate homes are selling in these price ranges, $350,000 to $400,000, if you as a buyer find a home that you like, and you're thinking, wow, I really like this one, move on it. Go ahead and make an offer. Have that discussion with your agent and make an offer, because you have to ask yourself, how am I going to feel if I don't make an offer on this house and somebody else does and I don't get it? How are you going to feel if that happens? So I'd hate for buyers to be disappointed
Sure.
because they delayed. And it really, again, at this price point, $350,000 to $400,000, this is very active. Homes tend to move fairly quickly. If you see something that you like, don't hesitate. Make an offer right away.
Okay. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate your time. And if anybody else out there is interested, Tom is responsive, professional, friendly, as you can see, very knowledgeable and approachable, of course. And he sends you really great data. So, if you're on the website, if you're not already on it watching this, phoenixrealestateexperts.com, you can find all sorts of great tips. I know I found it really helpful. So, Tom, thanks again for all of your help. I appreciate it. And I look forward to checking out some of these homes with you in the next few days.
Terrific, Pam. I look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.